WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cash Matlock. The body of a man was found floating in the Tennessee-Tom Bigby waterway earlier this morning. Tishomingo County Coroner Mac Wildman said a fisherman found the body floating in the water near Crow's Neck boat ramp. Wildman said he will not release the identity of the man at this time, but he believes the man has been missing since Thursday, August 15th. The body has been sent to Jackson for an autopsy. The incident is still under investigation. We're going to have more details as those become available. 4 Louisiana men say they'll plead guilty to charges that they tried to bribe Kemper County Sheriff with $2,000 in casino chips, seeking lucrative jail contracts. Now, the Associated Press reports Michael LeBlanc Sr. of Baton Rouge, Michael LeBlanc Jr. of Prairieville, Tawaski Ventroy of Opelousas, and Jackie Jones of LaPlace have filed notices saying they will change their pleas. All are accused of scheming to win contracts to sell inmates phone service and commissary goods at a jail in Kemper County by trying to bribe County Sheriff James Moore. And the indictment also says the men paid former Mississippi Corrections Commissioner Christopher Epps $2,000 for helping in getting contracts. Epps was convicted of taking more than $1.4 million in bribes and is serving a nearly 20-year prison sentence. U.S. District Judge Henry T. Wingate has set a plea hearing for October 2nd in Jackson. All 4 will remain free on bail. Well, Genesis Church in Columbus hosted a candidate forum this afternoon. The forum was held for the candidates of Ward 4 to come out and meet voters and answer questions. The candidates had 1 minute apiece to answer those questions. Those were submitted by the voters in attendance. Mayor Robert Smith and other city councilmen were in attendance to hear the candidates' opinions on crime, finances, community cleanup, and the youth of Columbus.
Well, tonight what we did was we gave the opportunity for citizens of Ward 4 to come out and meet the candidates.
The special election for Ward 4 will be on August 20th. Well, it's time now for the first look at our forecasts with meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Hey, Trevor.
Hey there, Cash. We've had a few showers across the area in the last hour or so. You can see them anywhere from Webster County down through portions of Choctaw County and even getting into portions of Winston County at this point. Most of them are starting to fizzle out, and most everybody else is dry at this point as we go into the 10 o'clock hour. Overnight, though, we might have a few more showers, say through midnight or so. Again, most everybody's going to stay dry, but a few sprinkles might be out and about. More rain possible early tomorrow morning and especially tomorrow afternoon. Might even have some storms. I'll have those details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, Lakin Duckett says her son Jordan was her heart, and she's sad, hurt, and even angry at losing him. She says he wasn't feeling well Wednesday, and she only agreed to allow him to go to practice with his team, but somehow Jordan ended up participating in that practice, and shortly after, the 13-year-old collapsed and died.
He was my heart.
Jordan Duckett turned 13 just 6 days ago. He was headed into 8th grade in a new school, in a new town, and playing football with new friends.
He wasn't supposed to be playing. He was supposed to be on the bench.
Lakin Duckett says her son suffered from asthma, had just been put back on his medication, and when she left him at practice Wednesday, he was only supposed to observe. But not long after she dropped him off, Duckett got the phone call that Jordan had collapsed on the Wind Gap field.
When I got there, they said, well, he was moving his arm, shaking his arm. He said, I don't feel right. But, nobody stopped him from playing football.
Duckett says by the time she made it to his side, she knew her son was in trouble.
He was laying in the grass with, tubes and things in him, and they were trying to do CPR, and in my opinion, he looked lifeless when I got there. A mother knows.
Duckett says that's when she had a panic attack and needed care, too.
As bad as I wanted to go with my son, I couldn't even walk or stand on my own.
Duckett tells me by the time she got to the hospital, Jordan had died.
It's hard. And I would say to any mother whose children play sports, knowing too much is too much. I'm sad. My heart is broke.
Well, Lakin now has a fundraiser set up in Jordan's name to raise money to bury him. The medical examiner's office is working to determine the cause of death. Back on the local front here, Boy Scouts of America announced last year they were changing their name to Scouts BSA, allowing young women to participate. Our Stephanie Pools spoke to a local Scouts BSA troop about how impactful the organization has been.
On February 1st, Troop 142 was chartered in Scouts BSA, and it is one of 3 all-girl troops in the state of Mississippi. Scoutmaster Nikki Smith says it was an opportunity she couldn't miss.
I thought it was the perfect opportunity to allow some young women to go through what I went through, but actually be able to earn the badges and earn the ranks. So I felt that I could give back to the community by helping these girls succeed and do what they came here to learn to do.
Smith says Scouts BSA shows both young men and women how to care for themselves in difficult situations.
The Scouts learn these leadership opportunities. They learn skills that they'll need to survive if something happens or they were to get lost in the woods. But not only that, they learn cooking. They can learn how to fix a car through the automotive merit badge. Scouts are also educated in outdoor activities and math and science.
Long-term camping, high adventure camping. They also have opportunity to pick up, there's a STEM program associated with Scouts BSA that they can take merit badges in through a STEM program.
Members of Troop 142 says joining this organization has taught them valuable life lessons.
It comes with so many good opportunities, and you'll learn so much through it, and you'll get to meet a lot of really cool people through it. And I've also had many leadership opportunities that I've never had before.
I wanted to gain that experience, so when I heard that it was opening up, I jumped on my chance.
I'm enjoying it a lot right now. There have been stressful times, but that's just how life is. It has been fun. I've enjoyed the people that I've met, and I want to keep those friendships, and I hope to keep those friendships later throughout life.
And it's not about who can reach the highest rank. It's about developing character.
It teaches you a lot, and even if you don't become eagle, or even if you don't get to where you wanted to be in it, you still learn a lot for your life, for your future.
It allows them to explore and gain experiences that they may not have been able to learn that may inspire them for a career in the future.
Reporting in Oktibbeha County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
Well, Smith says if you are interested in joining Scouts BSA, to find a local council near you. After the break, some tips on how to get your kids to enjoy healthier after-school snacks. Stay with us. Well, this week on Mom to Mom, we're learning all about how to make your child's after-school snack time a healthy time.
Welcome to Mom to Mom. Today we're in the kitchen to show you how to keep those after-school snacks healthy. All right, Chef Kate, you know the kids, they come home from school and they're starving and they want to grab a bag of chips.
Right.
You've got an alternative
I've
for
got
us.
the perfect thing, like a caprese pasta salad. So it's quick, it's easy, it's healthy, it's got veggies, and it's delicious.
Perfect. All right, let's get started then.
So you're gonna bring a pot of salted water to a boil and cook your noodles for about 10 minutes until they're al dente. Roughly chop the spinach, thinly slice the basil, halve the tomatoes and quarter the mozzarella cheese. Once the pasta's cooked, we're gonna go ahead and add all the ingredients into a bowl. Drizzle with olive oil, add a little pinch of salt and red pepper. Toss it all together and taste, adjust seasonings, and serve. Okay, so you're gonna wanna make this in advance, put it in the refrigerator, and I like to actually serve it in little mason jars, put the lid on, and then when the kids come home from school, open
it's
it
just
up.
like grab and go. Oh my gosh, so
Easy.
good.
Let's give it a taste.
We'll try.
Smells so good. That basil.
That's delicious. For this recipe and more, go to the Mom to Mom Facebook page. I'll see you next week.
Most everybody dry on the Alpha Insurance Camera Network right now, but we are mild and muggy, and there's a chance for storms as we go through the day tomorrow. I'll have those details coming up right after this in my full forecast.
Here's your WCBI First Alert weather forecast.
It is a pretty mild and muggy Sunday evening. Take a look at these temperatures at 10:23 in the evening. We're still at 81 in Columbus, 81 as well in West Alabama and Aliceville. We're a little cooler in Starkville. We're at 73 right now. We're 77 in Calhoun City and 76 in Winona. But check it out. These dew points, they're also pretty high. They're still in the 70s, which means it's feeling really muggy as you step outside. Dew points at 76 in Columbus, so humidity is almost at 100%. We're in the 80s and 90% range with the humidity. We do have a few showers and maybe even a rumble or thunder or two over the afternoon hours today. Any of that activity that was up near Grenada has started to fizzle out. Maybe just a few showers now southwest of Louisville in Winston County, but most everybody is dry right now. Here's Here's a live look from Tupelo down on Main Street from our Alpha Insurance camera network. Just a few people out on Main Street right now. Pretty calm conditions there. Same story right here on our building at WCBI in downtown Columbus. Just a few clouds out there. A pretty quiet evening overall. I mentioned it's muggy. Check it out. Humidity right now in Columbus, 87%. So get ready for that if you're headed out the door. We're still at 81 with that dew point at 76. So that's why it's feeling so humid as we step out the door tonight. We'll get down to the low 70s tonight, a little bit warmer than we were last night. Can't rule out a quick shower as we go into the overnight hours. Most of that will fizzle out by midnight, but can't rule it out as we go through the evening. Still very mild and muggy with those southwesterly winds picking up. As we go through tomorrow, that's when we think the best chance for rain is going to be. Basically, any time through the day, don't be surprised if you see a shower or a rumble of thunder. Best chance is going to be from lunchtime on to say about 4 or 5 o'clock or so. And temperatures are going to be hot. Check it out, 95 for our high here in Columbus, even warmer in some other spots across the area. Here's a look at that forecast on Futurecast. Notice by midnight, maybe a few showers across the area. Most of us are dry under partly cloudy skies. Those showers fizzle out overnight, and as we go into the early morning hours, say around 8 o'clock or so, maybe a few more showers out there. But again, most everybody's staying dry at least until tomorrow afternoon. By about 2 o'clock, just a little after lunchtime, we might see some more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. Still not everyone going to see rain, but that potential is definitely there. Definitely want to have that umbrella on hand as we go through tomorrow. You'll also notice tomorrow the dew points are going to continue to rise. We're going to stay in that uncomfortable category. Dew points in the 70s means it's going to feel very hot and humid for the next couple of days. Here's a look at that AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Notice rain chances all across the board. We'll see highs in the mid-90s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Slightly better rain chances for the end of the week and into the weekend with highs right around 90. We'll be right back with sports after this.
Here's sports on WCBI.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris Bolton. The high school football tour stops in next with the Saltillo Tigers. Head coach Ryan Summers may have been the new guy in 2018, but now he has a fresh group of new players eager to get after it. Saltillo is stop number 56 on our 60 and 60 marathon.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
The Saltillo Tigers know how to handle new. 2018 was about adjusting to Ryan Summers as the new head coach. Now it's Summers having to deal with the adjustments. The Tigers bring back a young bunch this season that's working to fill in the gaps.
You got to make sure that the young guys coming in are going to be physically and mentally ready to step into those roles, and we think a lot of the young guys are. So we got a lot of holes to fill, and we're going to find out real quick whether or not these guys can get it done. I think they can.
For the few remaining seniors, a younger team means a lot more responsibility, both on the field and in the huddle.
It means you got to step up, be leaders, and be ready for what's coming.
We don't have very many subs, but, we're trying to make the best of it.
While some think being younger translates into lower performance, that's not how the Tigers look at it.
They know that, they can play. So we don't ever really discuss, you're a sophomore, you're a freshman, or you're a junior, you need to play like a senior. We just, teach them and let their competitiveness take over.
I've seen a lot of very good improvements, players stepping up, being ready to come in and play from all over the place, any kind of position, freshmen stepping up and playing, in a varsity game.
They're not being kids, they're being leaders on the team and responsible.
That being said, the most experience returning is on offense, and the Tigers will be the most competitive on the O-line.
They've had the best camp so far, the best summer so far, simply because they're older. So we're expecting big things out of them.
It's going to be very difficult. We got really good teams in this division, but I think we're ready to step up and play. We're going to play very physical, very hard, and we're going to be ready.
Saltillo kicks off the season with a road matchup at North Pontotoc on August 23rd. With the Tigers on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Saltillo High School was brought to you by Farmers and Merchants Bank.
We're approaching the final days on the 2019 high school football tour. Here's a look at the remaining 4 stops left. Now, stop number 57 tomorrow checks in on Point City. Then Tuesday, we head north for stop number 58, featuring the Golden Wave. Wednesday, stop number 59 features the Starkville Yellow Jackets. Then Thursday, we close the tour off with a look at the Columbus Falcons. Now, you can check out any stops you may have missed on our website at WCBI.com. We're less than 2 weeks away from kickoff on Saturdays. We'll see more on the Rebs and the Bulldogs on how they're looking heading into the season after the break. Welcome back. On Friday, Ole Miss continued football practice for fall camp. The Rebs entered the season with a new defensive coordinator, Mike McIntyre, who brings some fresh ideas to the table. This year, defense will be transitioning from playing a 4-3 defense to now a 3-4. With the new system, along with playing in a tough SEC conference, depth will be key to winning, which is why Coach McIntyre continues to give guys first-team reps as they work to settle on a lineup.
Depth chart is fluid for a couple of reasons. There's competition at some spots. The other reason is to get guys in there against first and second lines, first and second receivers, and matchups, and let them compete against higher level guys. We've done that with some of the third team guys, got them in there against the first team because they could be in there. So I've had that happen before, so I'm trying to prepare for it every way we can. And then it also keeps everybody learning the defense, everybody understanding. It's a lot better in your meetings. They're more focused. So there's a lot of reasons for that.
Then in Starkville, the Bulldogs continue to gear up for the season as they held a scrimmage Saturday. A bunch of new faces will make a name for themselves this year after losing much off of last year's defense. But defense isn't the only side of the ball dealing with change, as the biggest competition this summer revolves around the quarterbacks. Keaton Thompson and grad transfer Tommy Stevens continue to battle it out to be named starter. Coach Joe Moorhead highlights some of the differences in this year's competition compared to last year's.
There's not an incumbent, where Nick had played a lot of football and, won a lot of big games and, kind of had a young guy behind him that you were looking to evaluate and develop. And now it's, I'll say both untested guys. One guy's played in this system for 1 year and the other one for going on his 4th year. So when it's every depth charts are written in pencil. Every spot is open, but this is one where KT would have had to do something out of the ordinary last year to unseat Nick, and now, it's a true open position battle.
In preseason NFL action, the Saints get the victory over the Chargers 19-17. Nice game for do-it-all man Taysom Hill seeing action at quarterback. He went 11 for 15 with 136 passing yards for 2 touchdowns. He also added in 5 carries for 53 rushing yards. The win gives the Saints their first win of the preseason, making them 1-1. Their next game will be on August 24th on the road against Tom Ebble's New York Jets. That's all we have for sports. We have a last temperature forecast coming up after the break.
Thank you for being a friend. Big fans of the beloved 80s sitcom Golden Girls can rent this house in Ardmore, Oklahoma. It pays tribute to the show and one of the stars that grew up in Ardmore, Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche Devereaux on the show. A current homeowner, Lori Harrison, says the house is not meant to be a replica of the show set, but a tribute to 3 of the show's characters, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. Harrison says there's been a steady stream of guests over the past year, but it's recently gained exposure with national publications. You can find the 3-bedroom home available for rent on Airbnb. Trevor, are you a Golden Girls fan?
I think everybody's a Golden Girls fan. I'm probably not the biggest Golden Girls fan, but everybody loves Betty White, I think.
Hashtag squad goals.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you might be wanting to get on Airbnb and find any other place to be but here. Look at these rain chances. They are sickening. 30% for the first half of the week, and then rain chances increase by the end of the week and into the weekend.
Oh gosh, well hopefully they won't be on Friday. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.